Hello, guys. Welcome back to Mirror Interpretation Todorova. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ioana, and I'm an interpreter, and I'm apologizing. Uh, I'm apologizing. This live it's going a little bit late because I had to finish something uh, that that it was hi, thank you for watching me. So I had to finish something for work. I'm apologizing. I have printed all your questions here and we're gonna answer them. I just want to say hello to whoever is watching me. Okay, thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you for being my members. um Before I start, I want to announce the two groups of membership. As you can see on my YouTube channel, there is a join button, $3.99 and $7.99. For $3.99, you're gonna receive hello Medrak. Hi Medrak, thank you for being here. So for $3.99, you're gonna see videos that are not published. I put 1 or 2 videos a week available approximately a week in this group. Videos that are not published yet or before I publish them, they would be on this group for $3.99. Also some pictures, some posts, things that I share there. For $7.99, you're gonna have the full folder. Right now it's about 20 videos where every week I upload a new video sharing my experience about interviews that I do, experience at work, challenges that I encounter in my work position or situation, and sharing how I deal with problems and how I solve those issues. Um, right now, I want to talk about something that come out particularly strong the last year or so. Before I address this question, I will just address it very fast, and I would appreciate if you guys leave me your comments below and how you deal with this type of situation. The situation I'm talking about is called coronavirus, especially vaccinations. So I would like to know your experience at work as a medical interpreter in the hospital, in the emergency room. Um, are you obliged to do vaccination? If so, how the situation with vaccination work for you? Because the past week I have experience with one of my client requesting me to sign a document that if I don't have the vaccination, I am voluntarily obliging myself to provide a negative coronavirus test 3 days before each appointment. It gotta be the result. Um, yes, I think the medical interpreters can do a decent living. I'm gonna comment in the end of these questions on the live here, guys. So feel free to chat or put a mess questions in the end, and I'm gonna comment it. So we're talking right now about the COVID vaccination and how the bigger company pressure you as a freelancer to have vaccination. Otherwise, they said you're not gonna work or you're not gonna have an assignment, you're not allowed to work, and so on. So last week, the X company sent me this document telling me that I have to present them my vaccinations. And if I don't have them, I self oblige myself to make a COVID test before each appointment and demonstrate that I am not sick of coronavirus before each assignment. So nothing wrong with this. This is beautiful. I said, okay, not a problem to make the test. I know I don't have a COVID. I just traveled recently. I make the swab. I know that I'm not sick. But where the problem comes, let's say that this client, we will call it X company, decide to require you to prove that you have a negative COVID test before each assignment. And let's say that this client of yours, it's not covering the test. So the simple swab test costs $119 with some cents, in total 125 including taxes. The PCR test, the blood test, costs about between $220 and $280. If you have an assignment for 2 hours, I don't know how much money you guys do, but I don't think that I know any interpreter that receive more than this amount that I mentioned here for the tests, uh, the expenses for the test. So let's imagine that you're very lucky interpreter and you do $70 an hour with 2 hours of minimum, which make it two minimum that you can do in medical. Let's say it's $140 for one assignment. I am giving you the best, the best, the best, because the matter of the fact is that most of the interpreter do take between $25 and $30 in-person medical interpreting assignments, plus 50 cents per gas, which is very little. It's 60 or 70 or $80 per assignment of 2 hours. If you're smart and you have stipulated the contract, 2 hours of assignments minimum that you will get paid. Said that, let's imagine that you make $140 in 2 hours, which is the maximum that I believe you can make, because a lot of companies are directly contracted with the government for $80. So if the government pay $80 for this assignment, there is no way you're gonna receive 85. There is no way you're gonna receive 70. There is no way you're gonna receive more than 40. This is honestly, I don't think that this is realistical. I see a lot of people pretend that they receive these big amounts, but the truth is that they don't. But so let's say that you are this less than 1% interpreter, that you will receive $140 for 2 hours, which is not realistical. The Spanish interpreters take $20 per hour. They don't even sign a minimum amount of time. Most of them doesn't even know about that. So let's imagine that you're very smart, very intelligent, you have a great contract, you have 2 hours of minimum, and you're gonna make $140 for these 2 hours, but your COVID test is gonna cost you 125. So in the end of the day, you're gonna work for $15 covering, because these companies doesn't offer you to cover the COVID test. Not only, I'm talking about even legal, the same thing about legal. A lot of interpreters call me and they pretend they receive these huge numbers, and when I go to check, it's fake. I am able to check if you lie to me or tell me the truth. I have this Russian lady, she asked me $40 for Russian when I know Russian is 25. I said, I'm apologizing, I'm not gonna give you more than 30. And in the end of the day, she agreed for 30, but I already went and checked how much she was paid in her position, and she was lying. She was paid $18 an hour. So I don't like when somebody's dishonest with me, and if you're a good worker, I'm willing to pay you $30. But the matter of the fact is that the most interpreter take between $17 and about 31, 32. As the same thing in person. Most people in person take 20, 25, 28, $30. There is very few that will take 35. And very few interpreters are educated in business contracting, and very few of them are covered if you have cancellation, last minute cancellation, changing, blah, blah, blah. A lot of you guys doesn't do this. I want to ask you a question. I don't want you to tell me how much you do, because I see a lot of people pretend they do more because they want to look successful. I don't want to pretend that I take this $140 for 2 hours, because I don't, but I'm giving you the perfect case scenario. Most of the times, your COVID test will cost more than what you're going to do in person for 2 hours. I know a lot of people work for $20 in this country. I'm not this graceful person, but I want to ask you guys about your experience with companies that pressure you and ask you to sign certain type of papers. I'm talking about company name Soci. this company tried to pressure me to sign a document respecting my right not to have a vaccination on one hand, but on the other hand, making me self-oblige myself that I'm gonna provide them negative test. This is the one problem is the cost of this test that nobody cover is gonna be your expense. And the number two thing with this test is that if even if you have the negative test and you make it and you cover the $125 for the test, the assignment is not going to be financially intelligent for you. It's not going to be retributive for you. The time that you're going to put in the going to do the test, getting the result, blah blah blah, driving there, then driving to the assignment is going to cost you more than what you have spent. And basically, you as a freelancer, you're gonna be like an investor for your client for these 2 hours. So said that, have you had any experience with companies uh, that require you to be vaccinated? The reason why they are pressuring you to vaccinate, thank you, Medrak Bitoli. Forgive me about the name. So what is the thing about vaccination? If you vaccinate, the vaccine is free of charge. You can have a severe physical and mental and blood clots and different kind of physical damages on your body because this vaccine affect your antibodies and basically suppress them. So what this vaccine do, legally the vaccine should boost your immune system and create these antibodies in case you get sick. The vaccine doesn't prevent you from getting sick. The vaccine doesn't prevent you from anything. The only thing that the vaccine eventually should do, it make you less ill when you get ill. But the researches for COVID unfortunately prove that every human body reacts differently to the virus of coronavirus, very similar as a flu. Some people suffer flu very, very many weeks with nose, with headache, they're in bed. Some people cough a little bit and they're fine with the flu. Some people take antibiotics for the flu and some people doesn't. The same thing with coronavirus. So having the vaccine basically and the benefits of it are not proven yet. There is nothing that guarantee you that this vaccine is gonna affect your health in a positive way so far. Number one. And number two, the negative effects of the vaccine are severe. When you sign a waiver not because you're receiving the vaccine, but you sign the waiver to release whoever give you this shot from responsibility that you're not going to sue them if you do it in Walmart. I have interpret and I do interpret vaccination process. And if you're intelligent enough, you would know that when the patient sign this waiver, they do sign it, but not for their own well-being. They sign the waiver that they will never sue Walmart or any future associates or any pharmacy that provide these vaccinations. So you release your right to fight if this vaccination is harming for you. If you have a trumps, if you have if you have any bad effects of this vaccination, by signing this waiver, you are not protected anymore because you take responsibility and you say, yes, I want you to administrate this substance in my body. Even if it's harming for me, I'm fine with that. You guys not responsible. I want these harming substances. Literally, if you go to read the release, the waiver form for COVID vaccine, this is exactly what it means. Also mean that you cannot sue the pharmacy, you cannot sue anybody if you have a proof that your health issues are result of this vaccination. Said here, said this information legal about the vaccination and its benefits, you as an interpreter, if you are this worry anxious type that you worry, you watch vaccination, you watch COVID 24/7 and you're completely brainwashed and you want to have this vaccination for your mental sanity because you're so much worried, all right, go with the vaccination. But I'm a person who is healthy. I have a healthy lifestyle. And for me, I don't want to administer any type of chemicals in my body unless they are severely necessary for my survival. I don't want a COVID vaccine, even if I am dying. I don't want a vaccine. So, for my also, I have a lot of allergies, and having a reaction to some substance that is inside of the vaccination, there is no um, case why they ask you, do you have allergy, do you have this type. The reason why they ask you is because people react to some substance inside of this vaccine. You can react and have a severe reaction to it. So I don't want to risk my life. I don't want to risk my well-being by administering this medicine to my body. Well, I'm not suffering. I am not worried that I'm going to die from COVID. And if God wants me to die from COVID, I am ready for it. This can sound terrible, guys, I know, but I do come from the mountains, and no animals have been vaccinated for COVID. Have you seen the elks dying here up in the mountains? You can hate me, guys, but I want to be realistical with you. If the elk doesn't die with this deadly, very dangerous virus that is going around, the elks doesn't die. You haven't seen a dead elks around the river. You haven't seen a dead wild animals from this deadly scary coronavirus. You haven't seen anything around you to change, because when the things happen with different things like Chernobyl in Europe, you could see animal dying from it, you could see the effects. But here nowadays, let's say we believe that we have this deadly problem with COVID, and everybody's in such a danger because we're all dying, it's so scary for us. We haven't seen any animal dead, because this is something that you, the belief is that you will breathe it and get so sick that will be deadly for you, right? So there is not such a logical reason why to be so freaked out. If you want to be freaked out, it's your personal choice. I'm not against that. I could tell you, I work for the COVID line in Europe, and in here since the COVID started, I have never interpreted for anyone that died from COVID, sadly, or happily or luckily. There is people that will suffer severely COVID, especially people that have lung problems, asthma, COPD, people that have a lot of disease, heart, high blood pressure, heart disease, stents, people that have a lot of health problems. Adding uh, a COVID infection clearly makes it problematic for them. This is logical and this is realistical. Imagine somebody that is post-surgery, have difficulty breathing, I already a lot of antibiotics, a lot of infections in the body, and you add one more infection where they are fighting for their life. Logically, coronavirus could be this additional drop that bring them to end of their life. But most of the people do not die from the COVID itself. A lot of people suffer it. I don't say that the COVID doesn't exist. Don't get me wrong. There is an infection with the COVID, with the research, but this infection is not by itself deadly. You remember when the flu infection was discovered, so-called flu, back then they also believed it was deadly, but nobody personally died from the flu itself. A lot of people die from a poor hygiene if you read the story. So said that, I'm just going to cut this lection about COVID, guys, but I want to know, do you have any companies that pressure you to have the vaccine? The vaccine is free. I also believe that this vaccination is using humans for testing. Apology. You can hate me. I'm so sorry, guys. This is my personal belief. It may be not true. It's just my impression. Uh, the vaccine come very fast after the virus was discovered, and normally to create a vaccination is necessary about 10 years of testing, and these testings are done over animals, in a lot of cases mouses. So we haven't had the time to experiment the right substances of this vaccination on animals and see the result of the vaccination. Said that, a lot of company pressure the interpreters to make these injections or these vaccinations, because if they don't do it, they're not gonna let them work. Uh, said that, said that, do you have any clients or any organizations or any companies that are willing, that are um, pressuring you to make the vaccination? Otherwise, they will not offer you to work. And are you vaccinated? Do you want to have the vaccine? Said that, this was my 20 minutes vaccination talk. I have printed your questions, guys. And I want to talk a little bit about the questions. We have Diego Bensignore. Muchas gracias, señorita. This is helpful to me. Plus, you guys crack me up with laughing. Keep the hard work. Thank you, Diego. I know you're referring to the Spanish video. One more, Rosé. I am sorry I joined your very boring and informative live, and I even more sorry I open up to you about my personal life and future plan to become an interpreter. Instead of giving me advice, you made me feel stupid because my phone wasn't working well. Today I have other phone and it hasn't been working well that lately. I don't know if you guys remember on my last live, there was this lady Rosé that was not able to send an email, was not able to post a question. I'm so sorry you feel hurt, Rosé. And I'm so sorry that you don't understand that when you apply for work, when you apply for any kind of a position, nobody will excuse your lack of knowledge because you had a bad day, because you have a problem with your phone and stuff like that. I don't mean to be rough. I want you guys to be realistic. So if you had a problem with your phone, this means that you have to go and buy a new phone. There is no company that will deal with this nonsense lack of communication abilities. uh, I don't know if it's your phone or your inability to send an email, but if I was looking for an interpreter with your language combination, I would not hire you. The reason why is because there is many people that will have a perfect communication. And a lot of companies doesn't want to teach you how to use your phone, doesn't want to tell you that you have to change your phone and so on. So my apologies. I don't mean to hurt you. You're free to be hurt. I don't mean to make you feel bad. Just make sure that you check your phone. Make sure you know how to send an email. Make sure you know how to send um, simple communication tasks. You can take a free classes online as well. This is great for you. If you want to be upset, that's your choice, my dear. Gabriela Govieva. Okay, Gabriela, I have read this question and I wanted to make a video about it, but I didn't do it because I have been so busy with work. Okay, Gabriela, thanks for your videos. Do you think you could talk about visas for interpreters or other options to stay in the USA when you come from another country and don't have a green card? There are many international students pursuing this career and they will be happy to know about that. If you know any information, I will be appreciated. Okay, thank you, Gabriela. I want to tell you something, guys, to all of you that are outside of USA, to all of you that are watching from other countries, and you guys want to work as an interpreters. Number one thing, you don't have to be physically in the USA in order to provide services for companies that are based here. This is number one thing. You can apply using your Indeed resumes or your LinkedIn profiles. I know some Asian countries doesn't have LinkedIn. They don't have social media. I am aware of this, but you still can apply on the company's website, sending an email, attaching your resume and your experiences if you're outside of the country. Number one. Number two, you will be tested. This is the trick here. Yes, you don't have to be physically here, but you're gonna be tested in the both languages and you gotta be ready. And if you wanna check about videos about bilingual target language proficiency test, I'm gonna put few videos up here for you guys. Um, okay, there are different ways to come legally in the USA. One is a student visa. J1 is the working one. And then you can arrive invited by a company, which means the company will sponsor your documents. It's not a lot of money, it's about $1,000, but a lot of company doesn't want to do the paperwork for you. So if you're a person that just want to come to America and is have the education, you speak like a good level of English and you just want to relocate here for personal reasons or because you like the standard of life that is a little bit higher, I will advise you to go to a website. It's called usagov.com, the official website that have the American sigla, the federal website. And there is a special section that is called green cards applications. You can apply online. I think the application is $75 or green card lottery. And I advise you to file this lottery as much as you can. This is a great opportunity for you. A lot of people think that if they can get married, they will have their documents like this. This is not true. America work a little bit different. But this is about the green cards. I may make a video in the future how you do this application, how you file it, and you pay everything online. You don't need a lawyer to file this. I think it's about $75. I'm not sure. I can check the price. So don't worry about it. Um, there is Omar talking about the dark side of interpreting. Omar Khouki. Muchas gracias por este video. Muy interesante. Medical Edge. Gracias, Omar. So, Omar works 5 years as a medical interpreter. Gracias por tu comento. Eres muy gentil. We have Hint Abadi. I really like the way you presented this video. I'm actually learning to be a medical interpreter. This was very helpful. Thank you. He's talking about English Spanish bilingual videos. Thank you, Hind Abdadi. I'm happy you like it. It's very hard to make those videos, believe it or not. English Spanish bilingual oral proficiency test. Jose said that Guido accent you have makes it hard to understand your English. Thank you, Jose. I suppose that your accent is also very thick. There is something that's called subtitles below the video. You can actually read what I say if that's a challenge for you. And if you cannot read, I'm apologizing for my inability to educate you here. Okay, thank you. Royal Justice, I appreciate your confidence. You have a great writing in English, Mr. Royal. Even my English that I think writing is not so great. It's funny. Thank you for the comment though. Form la chimiche. Nice. I wasn't hearing the jabra. She's talking, this person is talking about the jabra mic. That is very good. Self-isolation. Thank you so much. Momo Magic commented, thank you for those videos. Experiencing traumatic events, being suffering by someone else is not something that is talked about often in medical interpreter classes. That's true. Personally, I try my best to focus only on the spoken words. VRI and OPI makes that much easier, but is it still hard in person? Yeah, I think seeing people suffer is not something that we can control or detach with. I think depend on the level of the suffering. Um, Certain level of suffering is tolerable, and when it's extreme, it's hard to assist and see. Uh, Internetina 1515, ciao tesoro, penso che sei italiana. I can understand you so good. She's talking about the medical interpreting traumatic situations or the dark side of a medical interpreting. Yes, unfortunately, this is questions that are not addressed normally. Let's see what you guys write me here on the chat. We have Medrak Bitoli. Hi, Medrak. And then we have Linguist Addict. Can medical interpreters make a decent living? Yes and no. Depend how contract savage you are, what's your knowledge. So if you want to be successful as a medical interpreter, you do need few certification, BTG and CCHI for sure, and NBCMI, which I don't have, and I'm planning to make the test soon. Um, and if you provide these services, you gotta specialize in study, and you have to have a passion. This is not just a job that you do like any other job. This job is a little bit like a humanitarian job, and you really have to enjoy it. This is the number one thing. The number two thing, you have to have some interest in learning and in the path of growing. Otherwise, you will be frustrated because every time you go to an appointment, you have a different terminology, different situations. You got to be very comfortable and calm to do this. If you're nervous and anxious type of character, that would be very challenging for you. Medrak Bitoli, why have been obligated to vaccinate? Yes, they want you to vaccinate because they think it's secure, but I address my opinion about the vaccinations. And so you guys choose what makes you happy and safe. For me, this is not a vaccination. I'm happy with myself and I'm safe with myself, and I don't need a vaccination to feel healthy because I take care of my body and trying to stay healthy every day. And I don't need it, but some people do need that because they are anxious and worrying, and if they're gonna be worried 24/7, go and do it. For me, the risk of receiving the vaccination are higher than the benefits, and this is why I'm saying no. But if I was this person that will be crazy worried about it, maybe I would do it. I don't say no to vaccination. I'm just stating my personal choice, and I don't like the fact that in a democratic country I would be obliged to do something against my principle and something that could be deadly and harmful to me. I don't understand why I should do this. I would like you guys to share your experience about vaccinations. Planete Ozbekie. Planeta Uzbek. We're talking about Uzbekistan, the last video that I published about. You give so many wrong information about why didn't you check those before thinking to public. Okay, I'm sorry, Planet Uzbekistan. I actually did check the information, not with one person from Uzbekistan. I understand that a lot of people could be offended by the cultural awareness video that I post there. I am aware that there is a modern families that doesn't follow the traditions that I mentioned in this video. I don't mean to offend anyone, but this is your culture, guys, and I don't think there is something wrong with it or offensive with it. I know that not all Uzbekistan men's beat the woman, but the statistic are 85% of the women are abused at home. But because it's such a taboo to talk about this, clearly you find this wrong. I understand that for your culture, I may be wrong because I permit myself to comment on a culture that is not mine because I permit myself to have an opinion about this. What is wrong, I believe, is what is happening in those countries, especially in the smaller places. Obviously, Tashkent, which is the capital, is a little bit different. But if you guys take a car and you drive out of it, you will see the reality that I described. I don't know if it's bad or good, wrong or right. You guys are free to judge your own culture. I just address facts about the cultural appropriate things in Uzbekistan. Clearly, Not everybody is aware of their own culture. Not everybody is aware of the situations. If somebody is not victim of domestic violence, they think that is not happening. But you don't have to be from Uzbekistan to be a victim of domestic violence. You can be in Europe. This is happening in Italy, in Germany, in Eastern Europe, in Russia, in Ukraine. I don't remember a person or nationality I had conversation with that they haven't been a victim of some part or shape or form of abuse. So this is not something against Uzbekistan culture. Abuse, unfortunately, is divulged in many cultures and many languages, and the information that I provide there is very accurate, unfortunately. And I'm so sorry you feel wrong. If you are making this comment, I appreciate it. Thank you for the comment, but I didn't read which information you find misleading. um, Writing this type of comments is a little bit childish for me, because if somebody knows something different, please feel free to share with me. Feel free to come and talk about your own experience of your own culture. I'm more than welcome to hear you. This research that I made is based on a lot of interviews, a lot of people that share their stories, talking not Uzbek language, but having Uzbekistan background, growing up in Uzbekistan. I was lucky to have people that open up for me with me and share something like that. So I don't know what else to say except thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching this live. Planet Uzbek, please, if you like to address something, I'm happy to hear your point of view. What you think it's not realistical in the research that I did regarding Uzbekistan. You can come and talk about your culture as well. You're welcome. I'm not here to fight anyone or put anyone down. I just share the researches based on a lot of interviews and stuff like that. Said that, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this live. Please do comment about your COVID situation. Do you have the vaccine? Have you received the pressure? Um, does somebody make you test yourself for coronavirus and stuff like that? Thank you guys for being here, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye. And if you find these videos useful, you can press like or write me a comment below.